What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Nacho Wrestling, and we are exactly 1 month away from AEW All in Texas, and I figured what better way to celebrate 1 month out from AEW's biggest show of the year than to talk about the 5 things that I want to see at the show. Because if you haven't seen the fun little video teaser trailer thing that I made, I am going to AEW All in Texas. It's going to be an absolute fun blast. We're going to be vlogging the adventure and everything like that. But that's not what we're here to talk about today. What we're here to talk about is the 5 things that I want to see happen on the show. Now, these 5 things are going to be given in no particular order. They're just 5 things that I really would like to see happen at the show. And if they don't happen, doesn't mean that the show is terrible, doesn't mean that the show is the worst thing on the planet, just means that they decided to go a different direction. Not everything is going to be what you want to see or what I want to see. So, deal with it, I guess. But without further ado, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell to stay up to date on all things Nacho Wrestling. And if this is your first time watching a Nacho Wrestling video, why don't you consider hitting the subscribe button? I'm trying to reach 500 subscribers, and your help would be greatly appreciated. With that out of the way, let's throw to the list. All right, first up, we have number 5, and number 5 is going to be that I would like to see Willow Nightingale have some sort of substantial spot on the card this year. I think it's stupid not to have Willow on the card. She's been one of the most consistent, one of the most over talents, not only for the women's division, but for the entire company as a whole. She was involved in Anarchy in Arena this year. I believe that was the first time that they made Anarchy in the Arena intergender. Like, legitimately, there might have been, 1 or 2 female bumps in a past one and that I'm not remembering, because, Inner Circle was in it a lot, so Anna Jay, Ty Mello, things like that. But, yeah, so... But Willow, and then subsequently, I don't know why I can't remember her name, Marina Shafir, those two had some great chemistry in the Anarchy and Arena match. They worked well together, and then they were able to mix it up with the guys. But Willow really stands out as just someone who deserves, honestly, probably deserves to be in some sort of women's titles match, which is why this one is at number 5. Mainly because of the fact that, it's hard to predict where Willow would be on the card because of the fact that Tony, the women's champion, is fighting Mercedes, the TBS champion. So the 2 major women's champions are locked in a feud together. So it kind of leaves all the other women on AEW's roster to figure it out, I guess. So that's why this one's low on the list. But, nevertheless, I still would like to see it happen. Hopefully she has a big match. And who knows, maybe they could do a Mercedes Moné double duty situation. Maybe she defends her TBS title against Willow earlier in the night and loses, thus negating a win against Toni Storm later in the evening. So, do something like that, Tony. Who knows? Number 4, I was just talking about this with Willow Nightingale, and I was talking about Anarchy in the Arena, but this is, of course, a stadium show, so if they do a big multi-man match, it's more than likely going to be Stadium Stampede, and what I want to see is a more easy-to-follow and digestible Stadium Stampede. I think one of the big things that a lot of us can agree on, a lot of us AEW fans at least can agree on, is that the Anarchy in Arena and Stadium Stampede matches are very fun, very entertaining, very enjoyable, very comedic, very humorous, whatever you want to use, whatever descriptive words you want to use. The matches are fun, and I think one of the biggest issues with the matches is the following. It's very hard to follow. At Anarchy in Arena last year, I want to say, was the first time they had that 4-quadrant cam setup thing, which I guess cool. But if I'm there, at the show, I don't want to have to look up at the Tron and watch 4 different cameras. I'm fine with having to do it every now and again, but for a consistent 5 minutes, seems like a little stupid. And I guess you could focus on whatever action is closest to you, but then you're missing out on the rest of the match. I'm not saying make Stadium Stampedes solely in the ring or anything like that. That would be boring. Um, just maybe shrink it down to less people. You know, have Anarchy in the Arena be for like the 7 versus 7 type matches. But then maybe Stadium Stampede, even though it's, you know, in a bigger venue, maybe have that one be like a simple 4-on-4, 5-on-5 match. Something that's just a little easier to digest and watch for the fans rather than a 14-man, you know, multi-man tag match. Just a thought. Don't crucify me on that. Number 3, we have a certified main event. Now, I know this is going to sound a little weird. Like, what do you mean certified main event? The main event is whatever goes on last. Well, yes, I agree. Thank you for saying that. The main event is whatever goes on last. But a lot of times, especially within wrestling these past few years, this concept of co-main events, double main events, a triple header main event spectacular, it has become all the rage these days. Yes, for WWE more than AEW, but AEW is guilty of it too. I think the best way to do this is just figure out, you know, test the waters. What's the most popular match like a week or two out from the show? If it's Hangman and Mox, like if Hangman's really, really on fire, like the crowd is really behind Hangman, and you have plans to put Hangman over, Hangman should be main eventing with Mox. But then if everyone's really invested and really excited to see Omega Okada lock it up for the first time in a long time, yeah, make that the main event. And then, of course, you have Toni Storm and Mercedes Moné. You know, if the fans are really into that one, like they have been, if that continues to grow, that could main event as well. But none of this, oh, this match is, you know, the main event, and it's in the middle of the card. Or this match is the main event, and it's the first match on the card. None of that shit. I don't like it. It just kind of takes the luster away from the actual main event because, I mean, come on. The main event is the last match on the card. It's what people are there for more often than not. Right? Right? Number 2 is an absolute personal pick for me. Roast me, flame me for this, I don't care. But I want to see the return of the American Dragon Bryan Danielson at All In Texas. Not that AEW needs his star power back in the company. Not that AEW is, you know, floundering without him ever since he left. I just miss him. It's me being selfish. I want my favorite wrestler back. I want to see him finally get rid of the Death Riders, even if it's for a brief cameo in the main event to help Hangman finally defeat Mox and take care of the Death Rider shenanigans. That's fine. I'll take that. And then he rides off into the sunset, you know, because it would also help tie into his old feud with Hangman, where he just completely out wrestled Hangman to the point where Hangman started doubting himself. And honestly, you could look at that as the start of the crisis of confidence for Hangman. He could not get it done against Bryan Danielson. He could not get it done against the motherfucking GOAT. Just bring him back. Bring him back. And then, honestly, have him take, like, a sort of managerial role for the TV presence. Like, I think that's something that AEW really needs, you know, is some sort of on-screen authority figure. Tony Khan is kind of like this off-screen, like, puppet master authority figure, but I think they need someone who's, you know, obviously in kayfabe, doling out fines. Well, actually, Bryan does dole out fines in real life. Fuck it, yeah. Let him do it, both of it. Kayfabe and shoot. That's fine. Number 1. Hangman needs to win. I don't think I could spell this out for you. I don't really think I have to explain it at all that much, but Hangman Page deserves to win this belt. Hangman Page has been the guy for this company. He will be the guy for this company. I don't think that should have ever changed. I don't think that will ever waver going forward. The way this crowd has invested in him, the way this crowd has and I'm not talking about specifically like just the crowds like that are there live. I'm talking about like the TV crowd, the internet crowd. Yes, there are obviously the fucking cesspool fans that are like, oh, it's not WWE, this shit is garbage. To each their own. But like Hangman, for the AEW fans, has been that guy. Even when he had that public humiliation ritual by CM Punk, fans stuck by his side. They looked at what CM Punk and said, nah, fuck you, you're wrong. This is our fucking guy. And it took a while. It took Tony Khan being a little skittish with him going forward. But then that stuff was Swerve. Oh my God, it just turned something on in Hangman. And ever since, Hangman has been one of the best characters in wrestling, one of the best wrestlers in wrestling. I mean, the glazing doesn't stop. Flag on the play, unnecessary glazing. But Hangman should win that belt if he's main eventing, which makes the most sense that the world title would main event AEW's biggest show of the year. You absolutely should have Hangman win to send these fans home happy. To send me home happy. I'll be 12 rows back. You want me to be sad? I'm going to drop the bank at that store. By the way, I don't know what type of merch you guys will have at the stadium show, but it better be better than what you had at the Bojangles Coliseum for Collision, because that was hot ass, brother. But I digress. You want to send the fans home happy. You want to send them home talking positively about the show. Past few AEW pay-per-views, you haven't had that. I think you have, for the last one or two. Double or Nothing, yeah, for sure, because Hangman and Will Ospreay main evented that one. Coincidence? I think not. That is my 5 things that I want to see at All In Texas this year. Let me know what you guys want to see on the show down in the comments below. Let me know what you don't want to see on the show down in the comments below as well. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell to stay up to date on all things Nacho Wrestling, and I will see you guys next time.